Welcome to, I'm not even sure what day we're on at this point, like 17, 18 of Reclaiming Power with Rachelle, where we are looking for finding, yes, and reclaiming power through all the different facets and aspects of this experience that wherein we've given it away. We're reclaiming it. We're taking it back. And recently we did just talk about intuition. Like I'm all over the place, I feel like. Give me a moment because I'm stoked. I'm stoked about how I have this real life experience just happening this week with regard to what our topic has been, something we've just talked about, and how it works in our actual day-to-day life, and how, oh my God, just absolutely amazing. So with that, again, if you're new around here, my name is Rachelle, and I am a self-love empowerment coach, and that's what I'm all about, is looking for and finding power so we can be rising and thriving on our journey. That's what we do. So with that, today's topic was actually going to be something else. But intuitively, yes, listening to that intuition, if you missed it, you want to go catch the replay on YouTube for the power of intuition. And we just talked about that the other day. Now, today, like I said, I've moved what today's topic was going to be to next Friday. And I have taken what was going to be next Friday's topic to this Friday. And we are making today Faith Friday. I'm going to tell you why, obviously. I got a great story here. So, first and foremost, we are going to combine faith and confidence, because they do go hand in hand, these two. Faith and confidence, okay? So let's look at faith first and foremost, and then we'll get into this wonderful little story I have to tell you. Faith, in its most fundamental definition, not tied to any religion or anything like that, but in and of itself. So anybody can relate to this. Faith is simply a belief in the unseen. Having faith in the outcome. Having faith that everything is going to work out. Having faith that you are being supported. Having faith that you are going to be able to rise to the occasion, which that's where we come into play with the word confidence, right? Because I love this. When I actually looked up the definition of confidence to share this with you, I'm like, oh my gosh. And intuitively, I'd already known to combine these two words. So again, these were supposed to be next Friday. And we're doing them today, because stay tuned. There's a story coming. Just stick with me here. You're going to want to hear this one today, especially if you are in a bit of a pickle about not quite having the faith and confidence that you would like to be having in yourself, in your journey, all these things. You want to hear this, all right? So, confidence, by definition, as a noun, is a thing, right? A belief or conviction that an outcome will be favorable. Belief in the certainty of something. Hello, faith, a belief in the unseen. Confidence, a belief in the certainty of something. As well as confidence being a belief in the effectiveness of one's own abilities or in one's favorable acceptance by others, such as self-confidence. Like you have confidence in yourself. Well, hello. That's like having faith in yourself, having confidence in your journey, having faith in your journey, having confidence that you are being supported, having faith that you are being supported. These words are pretty much interchangeable in probably a majority, if not all, contexts. So, now to the story time. I'm working off the honey that was in the bottom of this jar. So that's when I go to the jar, is when I have some honey at the bottom. So cheers right quick on that before we get into story time. Rango honey, mesquite in my wonderful celestial seasonings green tea that's got, oh my God, I just love that stuff. With some wild orange essential oil on the tea bag too, mind you. Oh, it's divine. It's one of my favorite summertime sipper. Anyway, story time. Oh, this excites me. So, I don't need my paper for that. Okay. So first and foremost, I do share as much of my journey as I can. Like I said, I don't tend to share a lot of, obviously personal client information and their stories. I share with you mine. And this has always worked for me through all these years of coaching in the respect that I am living what I coach. I'm living this, okay? Well, with all of the intense energies and the shift that we're all in the midst of, all of this deeper healing, all of this the massive transition and transformation that we're under both individually as well as collectively, it can feel so heavy in this world. And it can feel like, am I being supported? Are we being supported? Or have we all just been abandoned here? Right? When we're in those darker spaces and we tend to lose faith, right? We tend to lose that belief in the unseen, lose the confidence of the certainty that everything is going to be okay, that we do fall into that state of despair and start to, again, feel like we are not going to be okay. It's not okay. But it's okay to not be okay. It really is. You got to feel it to heal it. Okay, sister, you do. You got to feel it to heal it. Well, I've been feeling it to heal it. Let me tell you, right? There's been, again, some of my own sabotages as an entrepreneur, as just who I am in my life journey that I've been continuing to break down and break through. One of the big ones, especially as a business owner and all this technology and things like that, a big one is being forced, I feel like, forced into a whole new computer, whole new system, whole new all of that, when quite frankly, and here's the reality of it, I still, and some of y'all are going to be like, huh? I still primarily use a Windows 7. Do you know how old that is? Windows 7 desktop and a Windows 7 laptop. Those are my primary technological devices. And they're still working pretty good, but I know my days are numbered on there. I know this. Being forced, even though they work fine, but the controllers, shall we say, they want us to be, entrapped in whatever system they want. I digress. So, just over a year ago, I finally invested in a Windows 10 computer, and I did it reluctantly. I did it with great reluctance. I did it with, nothing short of, a gun to my head to buy this kind of thing. Obviously I'm being dramatic for any of the freaking censors and crap on these platforms here, but that's what it's felt like to me. And so immediately when we look at energetics, my Windows 7 desktop, which he has a name, his name is Big Daddy. He is one of those big towers, okay? Big Daddy, that's his name. He's been reliable. I also have my Windows 7 laptop. Her name is Ruby. She's this gorgeous red, dark red. And the moment I got both of those devices home, all those years ago, I turned off the updates. Turn them off. I have lived in a life where I observe and I see how many problems people have with updates on their phones, on their computers. And I have lived more than a decade in absolute peace and harmony in my Windows 7s, both of them. Never had any software issues. Never. Knocking on wood here, okay? Never. The only reason I ever met my computer bestie, as I call him, which sidebar, shout out to computer surgeons in Mesa, Arizona. If you are local to the Valley, they're the place to go to take your computers. I'm telling you, David there, my computer bestie, just, oh my gosh, best customer service I could ever ask for. especially when, I usually have a lot of questions because I want to kind of understand, but I'm not about to be rebuilding a computer myself. So I went ahead after I'd taken Big Daddy in for I had two minor things, and it was a hardware thing, like a little plastic thing had broke because I live in very, very dry climate out here in the desert. So things tend to break down because they get dry and brittle. So I'd taken it in there, and I finally started looking at Windows 10 computers, and they obviously they're not new, they're refurbished. They rebuild all of these, and he does amazing. They back up their work and everything. So I bought it reluctantly. Now, when we look at energy, the energetics of things, over this last year, bringing that device home, it's been like, well, to use a phrase that's used, it's kind of like the redheaded stepchild, that whole little term of things. It's felt like an angsty teenager just waiting for an opportunity to wreak havoc in my world kind of thing is the energy. But I had been working on getting adapted to it. So I'd been working on it, and it was doing updates because it wasn't so easy. It's not so easy to turn them off. Like, you actually have to go into like David said, like the registrar or something of the computer itself to turn them off. So I left them because according to the expert, he said, you want to keep them on. I'm like, fine. That's how it felt, right? It has been obnoxious to work on that device, and I'm always ending up going back to my Windows 7. Okay? Yesterday morning, in an attempt to be on my Windows 10, I booted, I brought it out of sleep. It was sitting there, it was fine, it seemed fine, and it was on the browser. I was going to get to the work. I ended up getting caught up on something else, and I come back and it had gone to sleep. All right, fine. Now, there was an update sitting in the tray down there in the corner. And I'm like, Arr. So whatever. I didn't think anything of it. I thought, well, I'm going to go do my live, and then I'm going to go back and tend to what I was going to be doing on the computer. I'll boot it up then. Got done with my live, I go to boot it up, and I get, in essence, a black screen of death. Literally in computer world, where it literally just has like two lines, and it says you need a boot disk. Which I know enough about computers to know that was a serious problem. And lo and behold, I was right. It's a serious problem. Like, something got completely corrupted some way, shape, or form because of the update, Microsoft. So, but there was a reason for all of this. So, sidebar here. Again, with all of the work that I've been doing on myself and having to look at the last couple years, of decisions that I've made, choices that I've made, what I've given my attention and energy to, and where I am, all of this work and processing through all of that, feeling like, am I being supported right now? In that space of certain aspects of my experience, that it's been challenging to truly ground into the awareness of the support from the universe and to feel like my intuition is there for me. And that's why we had to talk about this, right? Well, we had to talk about intuition. So I actually had called David at Computer Surgeons, and they closed at 2 yesterday. I called him at 10 after, left a voicemail, because that was when the computer had booted up. Told him what had happened, and I had talked myself through on that voicemail that I'll just see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. when you open. And sure enough, once I got there and I walked in the building, he comes walking from the back, and he was like, I just heard your message. And lo and behold, it's like I said, it's a serious issue. I had to leave the device, he had to take it apart. While I'm standing there, because I told him about the update, that's what it was. That's what it was. While I'm standing there, he gets a call on the shop line, and he has quite a selection of refurbished, rebuilt, amazing machines there. And I start kind of glancing and looking, and But you know when you look at something, but you don't actually see it? So I didn't see it at first. Now, oh, I just heard Big Daddy go to sleep. I can hear it when he goes to sleep. And I'm looking, like finally really looking, and I happen to notice, and I'm like, that one looks a lot like Big Daddy. And now remember, just so you know, remember, Big Daddy is my Windows 7 desktop that I'm talking about. I name all of my inanimate entity devices because they are alive. I'm telling you, they communicate with you, and I'm getting to how I know this for sure. And they respond to our energy. So, like I said, remember, Junior's kaput. I am looking at what's going on here. I am looking at this desktop there, and I'm going, like I said, that looks a lot like the one I have, and I'm just like, so I lift up the paper that was hanging on it. And sure enough, it's the twin of my Windows 7 tower. The twin. Now, the energy aspect of things. As I had said when I brought that original, I call him Junior, brought this original device. It's one of those slim things where I had to actually buy, external extra USB ports and all the extra stuff. And it's really kind of frustrating. But whatever, I was trying to adapt. Whenever I boot up Big Daddy or Ruby, my two Windows 7 devices, whenever I boot them up, I say things like, good morning, Big Daddy. We got a big day ahead. Are you ready? Oh, you're the best computer ever. You're so reliable. I love you so much. I want you to live forever. And that's how I talk to my Windows 7. I mean, yeah, I'm not to say we haven't had our moments. Okay. No relationship is perfect, right? Same with Ruby, my Windows 7 laptop that has worked beautifully all these years and still does. It's just all the threats of all the software, the websites, everything threatening, oh, you don't get no more updates, bye. Fine, I don't want them. Anyway. Junior, I have not had the same relationship with that computer. I have not at all. I can definitely feel the energy. So today, standing in there at the shop and seeing that tower, I was like, that's cool. Oh my God, that's the twin. It wasn't until I was driving home that I went, that's why my computer crapped out. That's why the one I had crapped out. Not only because we weren't truly compatible, but because that is the computer that I needed, that I want, that is supposed to be mine. And computer surgeons, David is so amazing that I actually was like, can we actually, since you got to do all this work to fix this one then, and my hard drive is fine, can we just take the hard drive out of the slim one that I have and put it in the twin tower to match what I have? And in short, now that it took a while to get this out, yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I literally was led by the universe today. And on the way there, angel number 222. And then as I was pulling out of that parking lot, there was a faded sign for the property, the lot it is next door, with angel number 222 on there. And so it was literally that space of going, oh my gosh, I get to have literally the exact same tower with the new operating system. I've manifested a replica of my beloved computer. Of course, it's not Windows 7, but because my Windows 10 did the update and stopped working, I had to take it in. And had I not gone in, I would not have seen. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get this new computer now. But what this experience has done, again, having the angel numbers, the signs and synchronicities, the intuition to say, no, I know this is a big problem. I'm sure it is. I need to just take it in as soon as, because he's only open 4 hours a day. It's only a 4-hour window because they do have they got to actually work on the computers, right? And do the work for us. And I'm actually really excited right now to be getting that computer back. And I was not excited about getting a Windows 10. I was not. And now I'm actually excited. And it's that reminder for me, again, back to the faith and confidence topic that is the theme for today. It's realizing that it's up to us to cultivate faith in our journey, to cultivate faith in our support system, to cultivate confidence in ourselves that no matter what comes our way, we have the power to manifest and create for ourselves something different. But the only reason we don't, and we end up staying stuck where we are, is because we don't cultivate that faith and that confidence in this outcome. And I admit I was listening to what other people were telling me, that you can't have what you had before. You have to get different. You have to do this. You have to do that. No, you don't. No, you don't. The universe is there to say, you can have whatever you like. That song, right? You can have whatever you like. You just have to let it in. Now, I could have, because I was not happy when that computer yesterday. I just sat there going, it's what I've been telling him. The updates fuck it up. I want them off. Turn them off. And he was like, I thought we did. And I go, no, it requires this whole extra, all this modification to, the actual system folders. And I don't know, it's a little above my pay grade, right? But it's still having that faith, that confidence in the outcome, that it's going to work out in your favor. That no matter what it looks like now, no matter how crazy, no matter how discouraging even, right? And right there is the quote. Failure often precedes the energy of success. The energy of failure often precedes that of success. It is always darkest before the dawn. Think about it. Right before the sun finally starts to come up, that's the darkest time of the night. It's dark then. And then, ta-da! The glory of the sun. In fact, the whole keep the faith, that's why I ended up keeping on the shirt that I just threw on to run the computer up there, and that's my all good in the hood Sesame Street shirt. Because that's what faith is about. It's about reminding yourself that it's all good in the hood. And then I had to put on my Sunshine Larimar necklace to be like, sunny days, sweeping the clouds away. You're the facilitator for your life. You are. And so what you are creating for yourself, that's what you're experiencing in your reality. So if you want to keep, and I'm saying this for my ears too here too, if you want to keep looking at things that are not working out, it's slow growing, or, that technological thing is just like, what the fuck? Like, no, or I want to do that instead, whatever it looks like. You have to be the one to get out of your way and let it in. And let me tell you, had I not gotten out of my way, because there was a part of me that wanted to sit in that frustration yesterday with that device, because I just unplugged it and I took it straight over to the stairs to take downstairs. In fact, I forgot to take the power cord. Thankfully, he had a spare around there, thankfully. But I spaced it. I almost was like, no, I just want to stay home. I have work to do. I don't want to do this. That machine would have sat here all weekend long and just like nails down a chalkboard mocked me energetically. And instead, I just said, nope, I know I gotta go. I gotta take it in. And had I not, I wouldn't have seen. And again, I was not really excited to bring that computer home. I am excited as fuck to be bringing this one home when it comes home. And he's going to literally just swap me computers. He's going to let me have that tower, and he's going to keep the tower the slim thing that I had that it was. And I get to just be in this happy place all weekend instead of in a frustrated funk. I made the choice to take the action to change the outcome, or to create an outcome that was favorable to me. I opened myself up to let the universe show me I am being supported in the way that I desire to be supported. It's like, yeah, it's going to have the new operating system, but it's still in the same package. And that, there's a moment here. That's exactly what happens to each of us. As we go and grow through our experience, we get updated operating systems, but we're still the same. We're still the same. Ultimately, the core of who we are, it's still us. It's still us. And all of your life, where you have had times where you were not sure you were going to make it through, where you didn't have the faith. It was very challenging to find that faith within you. You didn't have the confidence in yourself and your journey and your experience. You didn't have a faith, a belief in the unseen that everything was going to be okay. But here you are today, and I'd say if you're here, everything's okay. Everything's okay. It's up to each and every one of us to cultivate that faith, that confidence in ourselves, in our journey, in our experience, in our business. What you focus on is what expands. What you feed is what grows. So how to cultivate faith and confidence? How do we do that? By simply focusing on the things that are proving to you that you are supported, proving to you that you are blessed, you are abundant. You have to let yourself see. And even if it means you got to go back through your journey and say, oh, that time and that time and that time and that time and that time. And then look in your journey right now and go, oh, that's proof I'm being supported. That's proof that I got this. That's proof that I can handle this. I am strong enough. I am smart enough. I am supported. I am loved. You are the catalyst. You are the facilitator. You just have to cultivate that faith and that confidence in your ability to move the mountains that you have placed in your path, because you put them there. I say that for me too. So with that, let's help to practice some faith, shall we? Power of surrender. Yes, Jackie. Hello, Jackie on TikTok. Welcome. Nice to have you here, goddess. Oh my goodness. We got all the cards flowing everywhere, and we're just going to keep them going right now. Here, let me do a different kind of shuffle today. So power of surrender, in which we're going to actually talk surrender tomorrow a bit more. But surrender requires faith. It requires confidence, right? It requires a belief in that unseen. And looky there, I just pulled that out and that card flipped up. Wow. Surrender your need to always be right. Surrender your need to always be right. The card itself says, give others the gift of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. This will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. Now listen, This has a lot to do with your own inner self, because our egos have a serious attachment to its stories and wants to have that confirmation bias in its favor. And even I admitted to David at Computer Surgeons today in Mesa, Arizona, by the way, that I recognize this, and I could say that about updates and things like that. However, I never did updates on my Windows 7, and I've never, knocking on wood, had any operating system problems in the more than a decade that I've had them. So, that said though, again, it's allowing yourself to be open for different perspectives, for letting things to unfold, letting other opportunities, perspectives, experiences to flow in, because maybe you are right about it, but at the same time, you don't have all the information. You don't know everything, contrary to what our egos like to tell us, right? You don't know everything. So that's the key. Surrender your need to always be right. Especially if they have to do with beliefs that you're not good enough, it's not going to work out, you're not being supported. You don't want to be right about that, do you? So let go of that. You have the power to do that. The power to do that is in your hands. Your hands, Goddess. And so with that, I'm going to close for today. I'm reaching my time limit on my little file here for YouTube recording. But again, I remind you, as I'm here to do, that the power to create whatever life you want, the power to manifest, call into your life whatever you want, that power, it is in your hands, Goddess. Because that power, it has always been inside you. And I am here to help you see that. That's my purpose in this world. That's why I'm here. Namaste.